to say something more. But for me right now, I think it's really critical to say that in light of how this report was given to us in such a political way, it is really important that Congress take the time to have oversight and review this and move forward in a way that is important for our country. It's important to remember as well that one of the reasons this report was started in the first place is we were concerned about Russia's interference in our democratic election. We all have to take that seriously, know what happened, and make sure we're doing the right things that it never occurs again. And we have to know if there was obstruction of justice, that in this country, justice, it prevails. So that's really important. There are tremendous discrepancies between what Attorney General Barr said and what the prosecutor Mueller has said in his report. So Congress needs to get to the bottom of this and investigate.
What does get to the bottom of it now mean?
It means that we need to have oversight. It means that I believe that they've already requested Mueller come before Congress to give us his information from the report. We need to know exactly what he found so that Congress can do what they have an obligation to do, different than the prosecutor himself, to take the next steps if they should be done.
Looking at the evidence in this report, is it now time to begin impeachment hearings?
I think what is most important to understand today is that there was a very political nature about how this report was presented to us. This report was to be done in a bipartisan way, so we as the American people and Congress representing the American people would have the information we needed to make sure that if Russia interfered in our election, we took the right steps. If the president obstructed justice, that we take the right steps. So it's very important now that we have that information accurately, not from a political standpoint, but accurately, and investigate that and then take our responsibility as members of Congress.
We have time for like 2 more questions.
Should the public have access to an unredacted report?
I have always said that the public should have access to the report as visible as possible. First of all, taxpayers paid for it. But this information is essential for our democracy and how our elections are run and the credibility of this government. So I understand some has to be redacted, but there appears to be a lot redacted, and I think we have to question that.
There's a lot of evidence of obstruction in the report. Are you disappointed that there were no charges recommended on obstruction?
Well, I'm most disappointed that Barr presented it to the country before he gave the information out, both previously and today, in a very political way, saying that there was none. I think that misrepresents the report as I have seen it, and that to me is really unfortunate and wrong, and that's, again, why Congress needs to now take this information and investigate it correctly.
You've always held off a little on calling for impeachment. Knowing what we now know is in the report, why do you still hold off?
Look, impeachment is a tremendous step. I've been through it before with President Clinton, and there's tremendous reactions and implications on impeachment. It needs to be done properly if it is done with the right amount of information, and the investigation is an incredibly important part of that and a process we need to take before we move to that. But I also will say we need this information because people have a right to know this before the next election.
That's about all the time we have.
Go ahead, real quick.
What was something that stood out to you?
I think the discrepancies between what Barr said in his press conference both today and previously versus what I have read in the report in terms of obstruction of justice is a very stark reason both why we should investigate and my really concern about it being presented to us in such a political way. Thank you all.
Thank you for your time.